Have you ever been completely worn out from chasing a woman you love, only to find that no matter how hard you try, it all seems pointless? Other men, on the other hand, seem to easily attract their dream, women, and live happily ever after. What are these men doing differently? Today, we'll look at some of the most important ideas in Stoicism to help you approach relationships with wisdom, self-respect, and dignity. We'll also talk about 9 powerful ways to make yourself more beautiful. You can use these tips for more than just romantic relationships. They'll help you get along better with everyone and live a happier life. If you have trouble not putting too much emotion into relationships or just want to connect with people better, this video is for you. We'll bust some common myths, help you see connections more clearly, and give you good advice if you want to change how you connect with others and yourself. Stay tuned because these insights could be a game changer. Share. Don't forget to like this for your own growth and happiness. Please support our channel by subscribing and leaving a message below if any of the upcoming revelations hit home for you. Let's begin. Embrace your inner strength. In the journey of personal growth, especially from a Stoic point of view, there is a huge difference between being truly good and just being harmless. Stoicism tells us not to be passive, but to build up our inner strength and resilience. Society tells you to tame your competitive instincts and not be too assertive. They might even tell you that being non-threatening is the best way to be. But this misses an important part of personal empowerment. It's not about aggression. It's about potential and control. Being a controlled force means recognizing your abilities, even those for disruption or assertiveness, and learning to master them. Think of a lion. It's not the lion's aggression that commands respect. It's the lion's calmness. This is how you should act. In control of your own power, if you walk and talk with the confidence that you are whole in yourself, you'll be more attractive to possible partners and in all of your relationships. This isn't the same thing as not needing anyone. It's being able to tell the difference. Stoicism doesn't teach you to hide your darker sides. It teaches you how to accept and manage them. Remember that someone who can't show their strength when it's needed will probably fail. When they face problems in the real world, finding this balance where you are strong but not overbearing, capable but not reckless, and powerful but calm is what real strength is all about. In practice, work on improving yourself. Control and respect for other people and yourself. Make your skills better. Do things that push you, and always aim for personal excellence. For example, instead of chasing relationships, invest in yourself. Learn a new skill, expand your knowledge, and create a life that people are naturally drawn to. This will not only help you grow as a person, but it will also give you a genuine and compelling presence that people admire and find attractive. You should be strong and whole, not because you want to be liked, but because you are living by your values. It's important to remember 2 things about attraction. When looking at it through a Stoic lens, don't chase them. Chasing someone, especially in a love sense, is bad for your personal growth. Pursuits can often show that you don't know what you value, or that your values aren't aligned with your actions. Self-sufficiency and valuing oneself are important lessons that are lost when someone is relentlessly chasing after someone else's affection. This is because chasing after someone usually comes from a scarcity mindset, which is the fear that without this person, you might be in complete pitfall, thinking that happiness and worthiness are outside of ourselves and must be aggressively pursued in others. This approach not only lowers your self-esteem, but can also make you less attractive to the people you want, because people tend to value what is rare and self-sufficient. Desperation, on the other hand, often makes you lose interest in pursuing others instead of putting your energy into it. Pay attention to your personal growth and goals. Take up new hobbies. Learn more. Improve your physical and mental health. And put money into your career. These things will not only make you feel better about your own self-worth, but they will also make you more interesting and attractive to others. For example, think about the difference between someone who spends their evenings and weekends trying to make friends and someone who spends those times relaxing and doing nothing. who uses that time to learn a new language, help others or make art, gain skills, confidence, and a sense of fulfillment that naturally attracts others. They are not seen as chasing. They are admired and sought after. When you live a life full of personal achievement and happiness, you create a magnetic aura around yourself that draws others to your self-confidence and independence. Stoic philosophy says that the best way to attract good relationships is not to desperately seek them out, but to become someone who is worthy of being pursued. In other words, work on becoming the best version of yourself. Live a life that other people want to be a part of, not because you need them to fill a void, but because you have so much to offer. Remember that true attraction is about drawing people in with your vibrancy and completeness, not chasing them in hopes of validation. Third, work on your own happiness. One thing that really sets respected people, who you might call alphas, apart, is their ability to make their own happiness. This isn't just about being positive. It's a deep understanding that happiness comes from inside, not from connections or validations from the outside. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in mastering oneself and one's emotions, advises us exactly. This happiness is a product of our own actions and choices, not the outcomes of our interactions with others. Often, you'll see individuals who base their emotional state on how others, particularly romantic interests, treat them. This dependency transforms them into mere reactors to someone else's presence and actions, giving others undue control over their remote well-being. For instance, someone who believes that winning over a particular person is the key to their happiness is setting themselves up for disappointment. They place their sense of worth and emotional stability in the hands of another, which is inherently unstable. Instead, Stoicism advises us to focus on creating joy from our daily activities and inner reflections. You can find or create happiness in simple things, whether it's a hobby you're passionate about, a professional achievement, or personal growth through reading, meditation, and physical fitness. For example, consider someone who cultivates a garden or someone who writes daily. These activities are not dependent on anyone else's approval, but are fulfilling in their own right. By fostering this inner contentment, you naturally become more attractive and interesting to others. People are drawn to those who exude genuine happiness and confidence. Imagine meeting someone whose happiness is self-sourced, who isn't desperate for someone else to fill a void, but instead offers a partnership of mutual joy and growth. This scenario is far more appealing than one where happiness is seen as something to be extracted from others. Thus, instead of making someone else the key to your happiness, focus on activities that make you feel fulfilled and alive. Let your happiness be something others can share and not something they're responsible for creating. This shift in perspective not only makes you more emotionally resilient, but also more desirable as a companion who adds value rather than one who demands it. Know 4. How to give meaningful compliments in the world of people-to-people relationships. When used wisely and in moderation, praise can be very useful. Stoicism, a philosophy that stresses the importance of being real and engaging in meaningful relationships, can teach us a lot about how to compliment someone, especially in romantic or personal relationships. Everyone likes getting compliments, but the key to a good compliment isn't just noticing someone's looks or other superficial traits. Women, in particular, often receive numerous comments on their looks, from their hair to their eyes, which can become redundant and feel insincere if overdone. 2. Truly stand out and make a meaningful impression. It's essential to look beyond the surface. Compliment aspects of her personality or achievements that show you appreciate her as a whole person. For example, commend her on how she handled a challenging situation, her unique sense of humor, or her insightful comments during a discussion. These types of compliments resonate on a deeper level and demonstrate that you value her for more than just her physical appearance. Moreover, the timing and delivery of compliments are just as important as their content. Instead of pulling her aside to shower her with praise, integrate these genuine compliments naturally into your conversations. This approach is less intrusive and allows the compliment to be seen as a sincere reflection of your thoughts, rather than a calculated move to gain favor. By focusing on deeper, more personal attributes, you show that you're paying attention and interested in her as a person. This not only makes your praise more powerful, but it also fits with the Stoic principle of meaningful and authentic living. Instead of using compliments to get someone to like you, use them to connect with them on a deeper level and build mutual respect and love. This way of complimenting her not only makes you stand out from other people who might be trying to get her attention, but it also builds a deeper connection. When she thinks about the people in her life, your compliments will make her think of you as someone who not only noticed her but also understood her, which could make her love you even more. Many men struggle with self-respect and finding their purpose in life. They get stuck in cycles of inaction and regret, which in the words of Stoic philosophy means they didn't choose the pain of discipline over the discomfort of regret, which leads to a life not lived. Stoicism teaches us how important it is to follow our veil values and be strong enough to face the world, even on our worst days. It's a way of thinking that puts character strength above short-term wants. When you act out of desperation all the time, you lower your own value. If you don't value yourself highly, you can't expect others to do the same. For example, think about the dynamics of romantic relationships. Why would someone be drawn to you if you are insecure and lack discipline? Even if you find temporary companionship, without a foundation of self-respect and purpose, a lasting connection is unlikely. On the other hand, when you focus on personal growth and achieving your goals, your self-worth goes up and others naturally want to be with you. Women are often attracted to men who are strong, independent, and in line with their values. This isn't because they want approval, but because they are strong and stable. Instead of wasting time and energy following other people, focus on developing your strengths and going after your goals. Find out what you're good at and make a promise to get even better at it. Whether it's a professional skill, a personal project, or a physical endeavor, doing well in these areas not only makes you a better person, but it also makes you more appealing. As Stoicism says, greatness is on the other side of hardship, and you need the right mindset to get through these problems. Be disciplined, live by your values, and let your deeds speak for themselves. Become a man of value who chases dreams instead of short-term wants. People want to be a part of your life, not because you need them to complete you, but because they respect and admire the person you are. This shift not only improves your relationships, but also changes how you experience life and attract real connections. No. 6. Understand the psychology of attraction first. Let's bust a myth. Ignoring women or acting uninterested won't make anyone fall in love with you. If it did, every shy or introverted person would be the center of attention, which obviously isn't how things work. What does work, though, is understanding the subtle psychological principles that can boost attraction without using tricks or games. People have used different methods to find partners in the past. Some have shown off their physical prowess, while others relied on wit or charm. From a Stoic point of view, the focus is not on manipulation, but on understanding human nature and using this knowledge in a wise and moral way. So how can you spark genuine interest? Being honest and factual in all of your contacts is a good way to go about it. When you talk to integrity, you slowly build trust and credibility. People naturally want to be with someone they know will be honest. This is true for all relationships, not just loved ones. Being trustworthy and honest makes you more attractive, and it can naturally make people lower their guard around you. For example, when you share your real interests, successes, and even your weaknesses in an open way, you show that you are genuine and relatable. This kind of honesty is appealing because it makes others feel safe to be themselves, which is what makes all strong connections possible. Also, knowing about the psychology of attraction means knowing how important time and patience are. Stoicism teaches us to live in harmony with nature, which in this case means realizing that relationships need time to grow and shouldn't be rushed or forced. This patient approach is very different from the frantic and often useless efforts of people who are desperately looking for love. Instead of chasing after someone, work on improving yourself and your virtues. Passionately pursue your interests and goals, and let your actions speak for themselves. People are naturally drawn to people who are committed to personal excellence and who live full, interesting lives by following these principles. You can develop a magnetic personality that attracts others not because you use tricks, but because you have qualities that are naturally attractive. Being trustworthy and real, these are the signs of someone who knows not only the psychology of attraction, but also how to be a good person. Except that when you're interested in someone, it's normal to see them in a mostly positive light. That's the nature of infatuation. It makes the good things stand out and hides the bad, creating an unbalanced view that can lead to disappointment and problems in the future. From a Stoic point of view, to build good, long-lasting relationships, it's important to stay neutral and emotionally balanced. Stoicism tells us to see things as they really are, without letting strong feelings cloud our judgment. If you're really into someone, you might not notice their flaws or red flags, which could stop you from connecting with them on a deeper, more meaningful level. The goal of any relationship shouldn't just be to find a partner. It should also be to build a lasting, compatible bond. For example, when you meet someone new, don't let your emotions guide all of your decisions. Instead, use your logic to figure out if the relationship is a good fit. Think about how well your values align, how you handle conflicts, and whether your life goals match up. This isn't about focusing on the bad things. It's about trying to be balanced, including both your strengths and potential weaknesses. Suppose you meet someone who seems to have a lot of the qualities you admire. It's easy to get swept away by these good qualities, but it's smart to also watch how they deal with stress, act in different social situations, and treat other people. These observations can tell you a lot more about who they are than encounters on the surface. Being neutral doesn't mean not caring about or interested in potential partners. It means interacting with them in a well-thought-out way and not letting your heart decide without your head's input. This balanced approach lets you make better decisions about whether to deepen the relationship, making sure that your emotional investment is sound. In the long run, taking a neutral stance can save you a lot of emotional turmoil. It helps you build relationships based on mutual respect, understanding, and real compatibility instead of idealized perceptions that can lead to heartbreak. This is why Stoicism tells us to temper our passions with reason and to approach relationships with a mindset that values lasting connection over fleeting emotion. Cultivate awareness. It's all too common to meet people today who promote easy answers to hard problems, especially when it comes to relationships and self-improvement. Solutions are often given as one-size-fits-all advice that promises quick results to people who are desperate enough to look for one. But Stoicism says that real wisdom comes from realizing how complicated life is and taking a more thoughtful, individualized approach to problems. Watch out for people who give advice that seems to work for everyone. If you follow that advice without thinking about your own situation, it can make you feel frustrated, like you have no control over your life, and start to feel bad. The Stoic way of life stresses how important it is to listen to your inner voice and use thought at the same time. It's about staying true to yourself while dealing with other people's advice and expectations. For example, if you're trying to improve your social skills or maybe find a partner, you may come across tips that say you should act or say certain things. But blindly following such advice without thinking about whether it fits with your personality and values can be harmful and ultimately useless. Everyone is different, with their own strengths, weaknesses, and life experiences. Instead of looking for and following, think about what works for someone else. It might not work for you. Solutions for everyone. Pay attention to getting to know yourself and what's important to you by thinking about your past. Recognize your uniqueness and follow advice that fits with your personal values and the facts of the situation. For example, if advice to be more assertive doesn't feel right. Because you value kindness and empathy, then change how you act to find a balance that fits your personality, while still aiming for effectiveness in interactions. Being mindful and self-aware will not only help you avoid the mistakes that come with following general advice, but it will also give you the power to make choices that are more likely to bring you real happiness. Good luck. Stoicism isn't about following rules. It's about knowing the ideas behind them and using these ideas wisely in your own life as you deal with all the different relationship and self-help advice out there. Remember to keep an open and critical mind. Check the truth and usefulness of what you hear, and always think about how it applies to your own life. By doing this, you develop not only wisdom, but also the strength that comes from living in line with your true self. This path doesn't lead to short-term successes in chasing desires, but to lasting fulfillment and important accomplishments. 9. Take advantage of the many chances that are available. It might sound hard to hear, but accepting that there are many fish in the sea is very important, especially when it comes to relationships. This point of view is important not only when it comes to relationships, but also in general. Stoicism teaches us to see things as they really are, without letting our strong personal feelings or ties cloud our judgment. The person you think is irreplaceably special is actually just one of billions of people in the world. When you focus too much on one person, thinking they are the key to your happiness or that they are uniquely meant for you, you give them too much power over your emotions and, by extension, your health. This way of thinking can be very bad. It can narrow your world and cause what's called an inel mentality, where you feel alone and angry because your expectations aren't being met and your view of relationships is skewed. Think about the idea that falling deeply in love with someone without seeing how they fit into your bigger picture can stunt your growth. If you think there is only one person out of billions who is right for you, you'll miss out on great chances with other people who might also be a good fit. You might also give up your self-respect and worth to pursue an idealized relationship that only appears in your head. Stoicism warns against this by promoting a view of life that puts personal virtue and independence above approval from others. Since women make up about half of the world's population, it's not likely that there is only one perfect match for you. Realizing this can free you from needless despair and fixation. Instead, work on building a sense of worth that comes from who you are, not who you are with. Build relationships that respect each other's independence and help you grow as a person. By broadening your view and recognizing the many possible connections, you lower the pressure on yourself and the people you meet to be perfect or irreplaceable. This makes you more emotionally stable and also more attractive as a partner. When someone knows their worth and sees the world with clarity and promise, they are naturally more attractive. They aren't desperately looking for someone to make their life complete. Instead, they are open to real connections that make their already full life better in some way. Having a stoic attitude toward relationships means realizing and welcoming the many chances in life that let you keep your dignity and self-respect in all your interactions. As we come to the end of our look at how Stoic principles can help us build better relationships and grow as people, this point of view not only improves your personal life, but also keeps your emotions in check. An important message should always be with you. Always try to be better than you were yesterday. Every day is a new chance to strive for excellence in every part of your life. It's important to understand how the mind works and use simple moral methods to connect with those around you more deeply. It's also important to remember that clear thinking and wisdom should guide your decisions, not emotions. Emotions are important, but they can get in the way of doing the right thing. Watch out for advice that seems too easy or that takes advantage of your need for help right away. Real progress comes from honest work and a deep understanding of the ideas involved, not just trying to get things done right away. How to do it. Finally, remember how important it is to tell the difference between being safe and trying to be truly good. Building depth and strength in your character does more than just make you stand out. It gives you the strength and honesty you need to handle the challenges of life with grace and purpose. If you found this video interesting and want to learn more about similar topics, don't miss the recommended video that should now be showing up on your screen. Make sure you click on it for a more in-depth look. I also want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Doing so will give you access to a lot more content that will help you learn more and start a more thoughtful and impactful journey through life. Thank you very much for watching. And remember that the path to personal excellence never ends. Every day is a chance to move forward, learn and grow. Each step you take is important for making your life more enjoyable and enriching. Embrace this never-ending journey and let each new day motivate you to reach your highest potential.